Yo guys, I've just created an LV ad and I wanted to show you the exact process that I used to create it. On screen at the moment, you're currently looking at my setup that I've just done in Cinema 4D. The reason why I'm breaking this down from a top view is because I kind of want you guys to see the light setup and what lights were put and how I created that dynamic feeling. So I don't know if you could tell within the ad, but this is actually set on a LV pool table that I've got. I went ahead and did the assets from Louis Vuitton, the packaging, but slapped these onto the pool table. Then I had the actual LV pool balls that I added onto the packaging themselves. I went ahead and tried a few camera positions. I usually like to mess around with a few cameras. Another thing that's really good to mention when working on ads like these is how much effort goes into the actual color correction behind the camera. So at the moment you can see that my scene is really bright, not cinematic whatsoever. The moment I go within the camera, you'll see that the light changes even if we're not currently going through the scene. And what I actually did through the camera is I was able to adjust the background section, having that set up, and then I went ahead and added things like vignette, color correcting, adjusting the blacks, the thresholds, the saturation, the highlights, and a few other things like sensitivity, exposure. Added things like the depth of field that you're currently seeing at the bottom of the packaging, and that is exactly how I was able to make such a nice ad. In some places you might also see that I've got these shadows that sort of overlap the packaging, but I actually went ahead and used something called a gobo. These allow me to place things like PNGs within the ad and lets me control exactly where the lights actually shine and how they portray on each texture. The black values are grayed out and they don't actually show onto the lights, so this had to use an HDRI, which allows me to actually create this sky that you're looking at the back, and this was to get more of a realistic lighting, but the sky sort of gives it that blue feeling. Without them it'll look very dark. Look, it's way too black and you can't even tell that the ad is trying to show something. This dome light just helps me get that feeling that it's in the air, it's in the sky. One thing I have left to mention is the materials that I created. So these are like the PNGs that I was using and sort of like the textures that I have to plug into each material, which allows me to actually control the color, the reflections. The bump map will add rough edges onto each material and give it more of that realistic feel. With these I was able to create such a nice feeling and make the packaging actually look realistic and give that material sort of the look portrayed as if it's actually in front of you and it's not just some fake ad with cheap materials that make no sense. That's exactly how I created this.